Before we start this video, I just want to say that I'm praying for the families of those affected by the shooting that happened in Texas. What's up, everybody? Today I wanted to talk about why people seem to hate Katara from the Avatar: The Last Airbender series. I don't think it's just any people either. I honestly believe it's really just new fans. People who are new to watching the series because it was like on Netflix and shit. First of all, let's talk about Katara a little bit. Katara is the little sister to the character Sokka, and they're both from the Southern Water Tribe in the world of the Avatar: The Last Airbender. And Katara is also the only surviving waterbender of her tribe still left. At the beginning of the show, her and her brother are in a canoe, small boat, whatever you want to call it, and they encounter a iceberg with a little boy in it, and that little boy happens to be Aang, the Avatar. And so she kind of throws a fit at her brother, and she accidentally frees this iceberg, and she sees the boy, and she goes to help him. And after she helps Aang, she introduces herself to Aang and all that good stuff, and they decide basically to bring him back to the village and introduce him to everyone else. Well, upon doing this, after doing this, they decide to go and have a little fun, and they find an old Fire Navy ship, and they go and goof around as kids do, and they end up sending a signal. This signal alerts the Fire Navy, which is near them, and that Fire Navy ship near them just so happened to harbor Prince Zuko, the person tasked with finding the Avatar who's been lost for over 100 years. To also put into perspective for you all, the Fire Navy, the Fire Nation, period, has decided to wage war on all the other nations to take over basically everything. So in lieu of taking over everything, they just wanted to make sure that they got rid of the benders from the other nations and repurpose them to suit their own purposes. They didn't want anybody coming up with any type of way to insurrect them or overthrow them. And so that's why they had already came and took away all the waterbenders from the Southern Water Tribe, and their grandmother, Sokka and Katara's grandmother, didn't want Katara to be taken away as well. And so bringing the Fire Navy to the Southern Water Tribe was bad news, because that would mean, first of all, they already saw that the Avatar had been resurrected by a beam of light that came from the iceberg, and then that basically showed his hiding spot. And then Zuko happened to spot Aang airbending, and he knew that because of certain circumstances and the air nomads being wiped out, he had to be the Avatar. Even though he saw that this man was a kid and he was supposed to be over 100 years old, he had to be the Avatar, or at least have something to do with him. So Zuko pursued this and went to the Southern Water Tribe to begin with. And after dealing with Zuko, Zuko takes Aang, and after they utilize Appa to go and save Aang, they begin their journey basically to go to the Southern Water Tribe so that Aang could learn waterbending, which is the next element he needed to learn. And they do make some stops along the way. They stop by the air temple and find out what happened to the air nomads. And I do believe this is where it comes into play why people hate Katara. This whole time, Katara had not mentioned the war. So Aang had no idea that his people had been attacked and slaughtered by the Fire Navy. And she did her best to cover up this fact the whole time they were there. She tried to keep Aang busy, and she took it upon herself to decide that Aang shouldn't know about what had really happened. And even though Sokka didn't agree with this, he still went along with it because she full-heartedly believed that this was the right move to make. And I feel like a lot of viewers, a lot of people that watch the show felt like she had no right to hide this from Aang. And I agree. She should have told him the truth off rip. But given the fact that he went Avatar state immediately after finding out about Mount Kyatsu, it kind of proved to us why she didn't tell him the truth right off the bat. But with that being said, I refuse to believe anybody watched past that point. Anybody who could say that they hate Katara, I honestly believe that you didn't watch past that point in the show, because Katara grows as a character. She ends up fighting the patriarchy. She ends up becoming a teacher to Aang. Her and Aang learn waterbending together after the North Pole situation, and she ends up becoming a waterbender master later on down the road in the show, which I'm sure anybody else already know. But I don't believe that Katara deserves that much hate at all. She made some mistakes in the beginning of the show, not just the one that I talked about here in the video, but in general, she did make some mistakes throughout the entire show, but so did everyone else. But I don't think that merits hate for Katara. I think Katara is still one of the... She wouldn't be in my top 10 if I made a top 10 characters in Avatar. That's because there's so many characters to love. She would be if I made one off the Legend of Korra, but that's a discussion for another video. Anyway, tell me I can't even talk. Tell me how y'all feel about Katara down in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, show your support, all that good stuff. Don't forget about our giveaway is going down. And I'll catch you guys at the next one.
Got the moments where I'm moody. Y'all was judging me like Judy. Base my story off like Rudy's. Push your statement off like cooties. Talking about a rapping god. I hear the beats and hear a beauty. That's a plot, now here's a twist.